Colby's Look at Agriculture Technology comes your way next. Advice, information, ideas, and more. If it's ag tech, it's in the Tech Tool Shed, your unbiased one-stop source for everything ag tech. He usually takes us into the field via the wonders of technology to tell us about agriculture technology, but having you at the desk this weekend is a real bonus, and especially when you brought another guest.
It's great to be here. I've got a good friend of mine, Matt Foes. Matt's been on the show many times talking technology, and we thought it'd be great to bring him in. And just, Matt, you've done a lot of things on your farm, and I've had the privilege to see that over the years. Give us a little bit of that evolution of technology on your farm.
Yeah, so if we look back in time, we were just like every other farm, but as time has gone on, and over the last 10 to 15 years, I've been pretty aggressive at evaluating technology and bringing it on when it has an ROI back to the operation. So we've gone from everything from full width tillage and all pre-fertilizer to now spoon feeding everything row to row on the spot.
So Matt, you switched over to strip till. It was kind of a slow, I don't want to say painful process, but if you don't know Matt, he's going to prove it out first. And you did that. And talk to producers that are looking at maybe trying strip till. What advice would you give? What have you learned with that technology?
So my first chance at trying strip till was by accident. We had applied ammonia. The guy running the soil finisher forgot to do 5 or 10 acre field, and so I was like, okay, he's 10 miles away, let's try it. And lo and behold, it worked. So the next year, as we go forward, we just tried to use the same equipment, the same ammonia bar that we'd been doing, and plant into those strips and learn as I go. I'm not one to make impulse decisions. I calculate and analyze things to death and then make educated decisions as much as possible.
I think producers struggle with new technology and the adoption of it. What advice would you give to producers that are looking at all these new trends and new things in technology on where to invest money, and especially a tougher time in the ag economy today?
Right, so this economy is not one where you make big decisions all at once. You make small decisions, make trial decisions. So either working with the equipment that you already have to be able to make small changes, or to have a neighbor come in and try something in a field next to what you're currently doing so that you can have an apples to apples comparison.
I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but was there a bleeding edge decision that you made sometime in the past few years and turned out to be, nope, this isn't going to work? Something
right.
But you still learned from it, Matt.
Yeah, everything you do, you have learning opportunities, as I call them. So yeah, there's been plenty of opportunities for me to try things that didn't work. The ones that come to mind are trying to make too big of changes all at once, and then you get confident because one little aspect of it works, and then it didn't turn out the next year the same way.
But it should not deter you from, in the future, continuing to embrace things with a little more study?
No. If Edison decided to only make one shot at the light bulb, we'd still have candles.
We're coming into the planting season. Will you be changing anything as you plant, or is the die cast for everybody now? I mean, once you get the head into the field, you can just charge ahead and do what you've been planning on for the past few weeks, or will there be some gentle adjustments?
So if, as you've seen in the past, I tend to make have ideas come about. I carry a marker to write on the windows and scratch down my ideas.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, right on the darn window.
So we've
new thing out called an iPad.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But I've gone through the planning phase. We all went through that over the course of the winter and early spring. Now we're in implementation, so we've got 98% of the stuff bolted down on what we're going to do. But there's always opportunities to try something new. Try it on a small scale, whether it be a couple of rounds or maybe it's a couple of fields. But you're able to then learn something that you can evaluate next fall and potentially implement on a wider scale next year.
Matt, when we were on the farm this week, you showed me some trial areas and some things you're working on for this year. Do you want to share what you're working on?
Yeah, so some of the things, I'm obsessed with trying to learn things. Every year I change things a little bit. In fact, my parents are like, are we going to do anything the same this year? And so what I've done is I had a neighbor come in and do a couple of rounds with ammonia bar within my strips and in an area that I hadn't stripped. And so I can see, okay, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. Is there a better way? There's nothing more detrimental than saying, I've got it figured out. There's always a better way to do everything.
I guess as we're talking about anhydrous ammonia, it reminds me that's another important product we have to be careful with, don't we? I mean, almost every growing season I hear of some kind of an incident with a tank or a hose. It requires us to be a little cautious, doesn't it, Matt?
Exactly. I mean, that goes with everything we do, from seed to chemistry to ammonia. We have to be careful, because when we let our guard down, that's when Murphy steps in.
Sure good to have you in the studio with us. Come back sometime.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chad, you did all right. Matt Foes joining us here, farmer and agronomist from Illinois. Coming up a little bit later in the broadcast this weekend, we'll talk about the Farm Progress Show later this year. The wheels are in motion already.